Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for clicking on this video. I sure hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to take a look at unboxing several new mail calls I got. The TeleVipers, I got 3 of those, Snow Job, Tunnel Rat, and let's take a look at the new Trouble Bubble. Stay tuned for more. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so lately I've had a lot of mail calls come in and I just haven't had the time to unbox them. So I got 3 TeleVipers here that we're going to take a look at. We're also going to take a look at Snow Job, Tunnel Rat, and the TeleViper in Trouble Bubble. So let's dig into these figures and see what's in these boxes. Here we have the COBRA Rage Viper. There is the Rage Viper himself, tied in his box. And as they're doing now, they're boxing up the figure, tying them off into one box, and putting all the accessories in another. First, let's start with the accessories. Now, I do apologize, I am not a weapons person. I do not know anything about guns, other than they go bang, the bullet comes out and goes into the other guy. Start off with, we have a belt of rounds for his primary weapon, assuming it's some kind of belt-fed machine gun. Here, this bent bad boy right here. Yep. Cheap plastic. All right, next up, it looks like the grenade launcher. I would call this a sai because I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. A pistol sidearm. A scarf, because who wants to be chilly while they're fighting in the jungle? I don't know why he would need a scarf, he's wearing a mask, so I don't know what he's filtering out. But anywho, it's the same with the other Vipers that have goggles with helmets with full visors, don't get it. And then here's his backpack, a tomahawk / hatchet. Here, let's get him out of there. Alright, so here's Mr. Rage Viper. I really do dig the color palette. That's one of the main reasons I bought this. So on unboxing, the joints are pliable. They are not loose. He does have a little bit of a wobble there at the torso, but the shoulder, the elbow are all nice and tight. Neck is nice and tight. Knees, hips. So it looks like the ankle issues are a thing of the past. Paint application looks really good, not seeing any overspray. Decals look clear and concise. Yeah, so far pretty cool. I really like that. Rage Viper. Alright, next up we got Tunnel Rat. This is also a recent mail call, so let's get him open and see what's inside. The figure in his coffin, and then his accessory box. As before, let's take a look at the accessories first. So the first thing that jumps out at me, again, is you have this really neat weapon, but lo and behold, it's bent. It is really, really bent. So I'm really digging the night vision goggles. Really liking those. Paint application is pretty consistent. Duffel bag, so I guess he needs a bag for documents? Question mark? Pretty neat knife. Actually chromed the blade. Here's a nice revolver. 2 flashlights, that's pretty cool. Since he is the Tunnel Rat, he does need to get around and crawling around, so it's imperative that he does have these flashlights. And I do like how they greened out the lenses. And then his backpack, which is a solid chunk of plastic. It's not hollow at all. It looks like you can put some things in there. Maybe his flashlight. This way then he has like headlights. So those are the accessories. Alright, so here is Tunnel Rat. I like that he has camouflage spray painted on his face and forearm. He does have a ammo belt, just like the Rage Viper. A little on the loose side, but that's okay. He does have an equipment belt. He's got a scarf. He's got a do-rag for sweat. He's not as flimsy at the waist as the Rage Viper. Joints are pretty stiff. I imagine once I get that backpack on him, he is going to fall the hell over. Yep. So he will definitely need a figure stand, but it's really cool how they put the flashlights on there so that way he has headlights as he's walking through a tunnel he can actually stand in. Ankle joints also good. So he can stand very well on his own. Nice balance. It's just when he put that honking backpack on there, this dude must have a lot of lower back problems. All right, and then the last unboxing I'll do is Snow Job. I was really excited when they announced this because he was one of my favorite characters. Snow Job, like Aquaman, gets a lot of hate in the G.I. Joe world. Robot Chicken does a lot of great skits about that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So let's take a look inside. All right, there he is in his coffin. So as before, let's start with the accessories. The first thing that sticks out to me is, for whatever reason, for his main weapon, they put it in protective cardboard. Why wouldn't they have done that with the others? This is still bent, but nowhere near to the degree of the other ones. It's awesome ski poles. They chrome the tips just so that way they didn't look like a bland, solid piece of plastic. But again, they are bent. Don't know how well you can see, but yeah, they are bent. They are not straight. We got an alternate head, so one that does not have the sweatband on it, so that's cool. And then we have another parka visor with one that looks like it's probably goes on the neck, that looks like it is rolled down back over his shoulders, so it looks like he has his hood off. Snowshoes, because you can't always just ski around, so you do need to walk around, so he's got some snowshoes. Those are cool. They probably go into the backpack. Big honking backpack. Just like Tunnel Rat, this thing's a solid chunk of plastic, and the dude will probably fall over if you put it on without the skis or the snowshoes to add support. But almost everything looks like it'll fit in here, so that's a good touch. There's the skis. A lot of detail on the skis. There's clasps down here to lock his boots in. That's pretty cool. So that'll pose really, really well if I want to take pictures in the snow. I think these will stand out really, really well, and they'll bend and they'll flex. All right, let's look at the job man himself. All right, so here's the man. He's nice and stark white. I'm really digging that. This is the hood up version. So obviously he's chili bear, so he has his hood up. Joints are all nice and tight. Ooh, these elbows are just a little too stiff. Ankle joints look nice and tight too. They whoosh to the side, but he stands on his own decently. I have the weight distributed a little odd. He stands on his own. He's falling there. Oh, I broke it. Oh, I broke my ankle. I can still do it, dude. I can still do it. Yeah, I can't get him to stand. But I bet once you put these on them, that's because he's meant for skiing. Boom. There you go. Now he doesn't need a figure stand. He's got skis. Yeah, so I really do like this. Nice and white. I'm digging the Snow Trooper vibe he's giving off. Can't wait to get him up in the collection. That's pretty cool. The way that he's done, his deco is done. Disappointed about the bending weapons. Disappointed it doesn't stand too well on his own. But there you have it. Unboxed the TeleViper, Tunnel Rat, and Snow Job. So moving on to the Trouble Bubble. One of my favorite toys for the Cobras because it was a lower price point vehicle and it was something that really fueled my imagination. I know it's a terrible in-concept vehicle, but it's something that you could definitely fly around and attack your Joes and have all kinds of imaginative play with. My collection that I started in the last few years, I do have the 25th anniversary Trouble Bubble, and I just thought it'd be neat to compare and contrast the two. To start off with, of course, on the smaller one, there are nowhere near the details that would be on the larger vehicle. Things like colored off of these panels, here on the sides. Unlike the original, the Classified comes with all of the livery painted on, whereas the original and the 25th, these are all stickers. The armaments are pretty awesome, I think. There are huge missiles on the side of the Classified. There are not missiles on mine because this was an eBay purchase and I am also not a completionist. I don't necessarily want to have every single piece on an item unless it's a restoration project, like the SP3 Night Raven video I did a while back. There's several gripes that I do have with the Trouble Bubble. Obviously, I'll get to the one that just presented itself, the gun. The main gun on the Trouble Bubble for the Classified, it's on a ball joint, and it just, for mine, it just rests on that ball joint. There have been stress marks already on the gun itself. That is something I don't know if I want to take a hairdryer and try to fix, simply because I think it's going to make it worse. It might get rid of the stress mark, but I don't think the ball joint's going to get any better. So the ball joint does not really effectively hold the gun in very, very well. My other gripe with the Trouble Bubble is the fact that it doesn't come with a flight stand for the price point that they're offering it at. Now, the Trouble Bubble, the 25th, and the Real American Hero one does not come with one either, so don't get me wrong, but I did have to purchase one from an eBay store. This is made out of acrylic. It is relatively affordable. It just comes apart. Already has the Cobra logo on it, and it is great for displaying my flight pod, and it even has it at an angle so it looks like it's going on an attack run. And I just really enjoy having a flight stand because almost nobody wants to pose their Trouble Bubble stationary on the ground unless you're lining it up on a flight line or you're trying to make a diorama. So to that end, as I said at the beginning of the video, I did make my own flight stand. And is it perfect? No. Is it pretty? No, but it works. And so what I did was I just took some scraps of wood from my kids' You Can Build It kit, a dowling rod, and figured out a way to slap it all together. And now I have a display stand for my flight pod. I added pinstripe all the way around the base and a Cobra Air Force logo to make it look somewhat official. And then I sealed it all up with polyacrylic so that way then the paint won't get damaged. And it fits. Again, with the way they designed the Trouble Bubble, you do have to detach the gun to put the Trouble Bubble on top. I did add a small magnet, a small refrigerator magnet on the bottom of the Trouble Bubble and on the top of the flight stand itself. It's not as powerful as I thought it would be, so it does not necessarily hold this any better because, again, this thing is a lot heavier, especially with a figure in it. So I do have to take the gun off in order to get it onto the stand, and then I can put that gun right back on there, and then I can mount this. And as a happy accident, it is not 100% straight, so it does look like the Trouble Bubble is banking, which does help with a more dynamic look when it's on a static display. So again, is it perfect? No, but it's just something that I had the resources and time to do, and I did it, and now it looks great on my display. So in conclusion, am I happy with these figures? Yes. Do they have their drawbacks? Of course. What product doesn't have pros and cons? I just think that Hasbro could do a little bit better job with weapons because their weapons are all wonky, and there's other manufacturers out there that are doing actually a much better job with giving you more for a slightly higher price point. Point being, it can be done. That's it for me. I hope you really enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was the first one I had to make in a while. So I have a whole bunch of other projects I want to do. I'm off for a few months from work, so this will be a great time for me to get in there, get creative, and making videos. So thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.